Right, we've made our way down into the Utilidors, so I'm going to continue off this way. Paul is not going to be too far behind me. Certainly got a temperature drop down here, guys. Looks like we've got a load of old bedding. Because basically when I'm turning around and saying that this is a Utilidor, it's like a, not a servant's quarter. See that light if I dip this down, just put that there as a marker to find our way back out if something went wrong. And you've got overhanging pipes, etc. And this is like a Victorian walkway, a Utilidor if you like, because what it would have been is to keep the servants out of the sight of those in the stately home above. It's sort of principle that Disney used when he bought Disney World, or made Disney World. It's actually on a first floor that you see, everything happens below that. Reason being, he did not want someone dressed up as a spaceman like Mickey Mouse walking into Frontierland and going on to meet and greet people. It sort of confuses the narrative of what that is, and so he created Utilidors similar to what this is. These themselves, these would be coal chutes, etc. Would have been kept for storage, linen services, probably a wine cellar, keeping cheese, etc. cold, because this goes post-dated the likes of your ice houses, which we've seen in other buildings themselves. What is an ice house, you say? That was a Victorian era fridge, and this predates that, so it would have had the facilities on site, aka what we're looking at now. In here, there would have been, this is probably more like a boiler area, workstation. That's a solid old door, and you can see they bricked it up before, but that would be postmodern, because when one side of it was probably not in use, they still maintain using a different side of it. A couple of really old cast iron bathtubs. Yeah, that's more of a boiler room, that area. Wonder how old that pram was. Generators, etc. That's another way in. Actually, I thought it could for one moment be a lift shaft. It did have lifts built in. Someone's left a welly. There we go, old workhouses, old chairs, paints, etc. Used as storage. Now, this would have been in pristine condition. You can see somewhere where the walls have been painted white. This would have been immaculate. It wouldn't have been filled full of the crud, full of the dust. This is what fire damage does. And you can see the damp on there. And you can see the cobbled floor from a very Victorian era. Pretty sketchy down here, to be honest with you guys, but we believe that we're alone. See that? An old, very old workstation. Probably got a load of old tools, etc. All just starting to gather moss and rot its way. Old pair of Reeboks there with the sole missing. I've seen videos with people coming in here and they were right directly at the front. I've also seen other ones with them, I believe, hanging up there. It's a sign of something. I'm not sure what it is, whether it's a drug dealer sign or something like that. See, this is very much kind of what you'd have as a storage area for maybe dairy products, cheese, etc. if you didn't have an ice house. Old chairs, etc. There's plenty of rooms. The old light bulb down there. Solid old door here. further we go in, the more damp it seems to get. And it's turned around and telling me clearly, well no, maybe not, because I was saying it could have been coal. I think more likely a fire has been down here. You see the blackness on the floor, otherwise it'd be stained up the side of the wall, and it's not. But all these are little alcoves which would have been used, and they're just covered now in fungi. What's that, mate? Oh yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it? These old hatch down here. A lot of people do these videos, the actual building above us and this separately. I think we just throw them both together, to be honest with you. And this is the way I walked through earlier. Pretty expanse. Make my way further along the back here. Them old drawers. The way they just sort of curve in at the bottom. That is probably 19th century. Just decaying away. The problem is this space, you go round and round in circles and think, have I seen this bit? Have I not seen this bit? And you miss it. I do remember the glass, so we have been down there. Let's make our way further around. Obviously guys, if you are going to do something like this, like myself, come with a buddy, a partner. More of a modern fire alarm detail there. Old chairs, pipe works, door frames. People who have scribed on there that they've been here themselves. Give yourself a shout out if you have. Say this was once a linen room or the lair of Iron Man. That is old. That is seriously old. Look where the power comes from. Again, probably early 20th century. Nowadays everything's built into the iron itself, but certainly not there. And these probably would have been, it's got pipes dumped in there, but it might have been rolls and rolls of linen. I might be totally wrong, of course. It just seems strange that it's all down here. But certainly servants' quarters. These are the old windows that have been stored in here. Sorry about the torch, guys. It's basically making a means of what we actually have at hand. More window frames. Old heating system there. Toilet seat and sink. Another hefty old door. It's just the doors themselves tell you how old the property itself was. There's certainly a ton of damp down here. Paul's made his way in there. I don't think I'll bother. I'm a bit too old and not steady on my feet to do things like that anymore. Real shame, because this was once what I've seen in other videos. A really nice retro telly, now just been trashed. This isn't people just tripping over it, people kind of giving it a good hammering. Same as a lot of stuff in here. Trunks full of knitted clothing. Maybe possessions of someone from, I don't know, the residential side of it that was here once. Some sort of old lamp on the top there. I believe that's like a fancy dress crown. I know many of you guys have been in here and seen it before. This is just kind of an update for you. Moss grown on the old cabinets. Fire extinguisher. Basin. But yeah, pretty cool. So I think it's now time to make our way back to the surface. Because we are a good probably 10 feet under the ground. But it's seriously cool, guys. It really, really is. Keep noticing this white string everywhere. These are other explorers making sure it's safe to come in and come out. Some sort of plaque motif. I'll turn that around because it'll be written on the other side. There we go. If you can see that, guys. Maybe freeze it if you want to read it all. Beads. Sewing box type of stuff. Well, all I can say is thank you very much, Quirky Tunnels, for adding to what hopefully is producing an amazing explore down here. Because we've still got above to go. If I drop my torch now, that was my device to make sure we were safe down here. Just prop that up there to show the way. It's not a bad idea, it's just an old backlight off a bicycle. We make our way down, and obviously it's hanging up where them pipes are coming down, because you walk into them you'll know about it. But yeah, this was the kind of Victorian walkway. Really, really cool. One last look around this bit. Pretty much caved in. And that's just full of, they will be damp, filthy, and full of all sorts of unmentionable muck, unfortunately, guys, so I won't be rummaging through that. I'll make our way back out. There's our way in. Basically, you come down the corner there, sit on your bum there, shuffle down till you get to the steps, and you're in. Looking at it from the outside, it does look daunting, going down into the unknown, but when you're actually in here, it's not that bad at all. And this is, I guess this would have been where the coal chute is. I'm not 100% sure. That's got the shape of it, and there's certainly an element of soot down there. But again, it doesn't seem that much coated in here. Might be wrong. Time to see daylight.